when we listen and are available in this very open way, there's a way that our attention moves away from the kind of narrowing that we associate with focus, or that we associate with being pulled into our thoughts and being velcroed into them, or identified with them, or being identified with our emotions or our body. There's a kind of counter movement when we sit, let's say in meditation, and open and listen to the sounds in our environment or in the distance. And we relax our vision and when we relax our senses. And when we sense in this global way, in a way where we're at rest, we may feel that all of our feelers that would extend out to listen farther or to see farther, all of that can relax, and there can simply be this kind of open availability in our awareness and our sensing, and that flowering open of attention leaves that narrowing and goes into more of a sense of opening to a greater totality of being. And as our energies settle more into quietude, there's a sense that we may settle more into the simplicity of this moment, into the present. And it's almost like an energetic formula, you could say, that when we rest and anchor and then also open our attention, that it becomes less likely to be, pulled into a more top-heavy tracking of thought. It doesn't mean that might not happen for a while, but as you commit to calling upon your posture to help you find that way into settling, as you open and listen to the sounds around you, or sense the temperature in the room around you, or the quality of the space, there's a way that it's these movements of down and out make it difficult for the pulling into obsession with thought or identification with emotions. It's as though those are counter directional to this sinking down and opening of attention. And so these are handy things to know about meditation, because meditation that drops us into a greater sense of stillness and opens our awareness and makes it more available to what's arising in this present moment is a way that takes us out of our self-concern. It takes us out of our over-identification, I should say, with our thinking mind or our emotions and our body. Because we can very much inhabit our body and our mind and our emotions without the need to over-identify with them. And sometimes we can inhabit them more fully. I would argue that we can inhabit them more fully when our energy isn't being hijacked into being overly attached or consumed with fascination or resistance in thought or emotion. So as we open to this sense of our nature's awareness that's without edge or boundary, the more we get a sense of that and actually drop into stillness without needing to assert any expansion of awareness, but just settling and becoming more still, what can happen is that we may have a sense of ourselves as the subject relax and come more to rest. And that dynamic that's constantly asserting, like, I'm the subject that's tracking this world of objects, that whole mechanism of subject as my identity, tracking objects as far as what they can do or what I want or don't want with them with respect to my identified self. All of that paradigm comes to rest when our sense of this moving and tracking shifts more into settling and being softly open and available. And so when this shift happens, which can happen for anybody in meditation, when this shift happens, there's, and I'm just talking about something very basic, like having a meditation where you feel more in touch with that stillness or more in touch with the present moment. What can happen is the sense of central self as that subject can soften, and the sense of the meditator can soften, and there can be a giving way or a yielding of that energy such that that subject object paradigm relaxes. And in the absence of that two-ness, that subject-object positioning, a sense of what remains comes forward, and what remains is of a holistic nature that's sometimes spoken of as oneness.